at least once a month, I get an email or a message on one of our social media platforms asking, is your school LGBTQ plus friendly? And I always respond, but I've received enough of these emails that I said, man, I'm just going to do a video and address this question openly and honestly, and share my thoughts with you. So I'm al-Aziz, the owner and head instructor of Semper Fortis Jiu Jitsu here in San Antonio, Texas. And this week's question of the week is, are we LGBTQ plus friendly? The short answer, if you don't want to watch the whole video, is yes. I am all about helping good people defend themselves against bad people. I want to teach people to defend themselves against the bullies of the world, against the criminals of the world. I want to empower people through Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Judo to where they can walk upright and proudly and confidently, knowing that they can defend themselves against whatever villains come their way. That's my goal as a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu instructor. That's my goal as a school owner, a martial arts school owner that teaches both Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Judo. I want to teach you to defend yourself. And as long as you're a good person, I want to teach you. That's what my criteria is for students. So, we are in a weird place in the world where a lot of times people feel like, oh, if you don't see the world exactly the way I do, then you are against me, or we can't be friends. And in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, what I have found, and not only in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but in my 33 years serving in the United States Navy, what I found is that there's not one, two, or three different ways of looking at the world. There's thousands of different ways of looking at the world. And you are never going to meet anybody that you ideologically agree with 100% on all issues. Like my wife, who I love dearly, we may agree on 95%. But there's things that we disagree on in life. Same thing with my children, whether it's my son who's 30 or my daughter who's 15. I love them both dearly, but we don't agree on everything. But I still love them. I still want the best for them. And 10 years from now, I'm not going to agree with everything that I currently believe in. And 10 years ago, I don't currently believe or agree with all my views from 10 years ago. Like, we constantly evolve, we constantly change. And my criteria is for good people. And what I have found in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, in martial arts, as well as in the military, is people come from all different walks of life. For instance, I did 33 years in the United States Navy. The oath every military member takes is that they will support the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. But in my school, one of my dearest friends, he used to come in with a t-shirt that was like basically an obscenity saying, screw 45, and 45 being the 45th president of the United States. And then I have another student who I've seen with a t-shirt that says, let's go Brandon, which is another obscenity. The first one towards a Republican president, this one, the let's go Brandon, towards a Democrat president. And although I disagree with both of those presidents, I would never in my wildest dream wear such a shirt. But I respect those that do. I'm okay with it. Like, okay, this is your belief. I have another student that comes in with a Che Guevara shirt. And those of you that don't know Che Guevara, he was part of the communist Cuban Revolution with Fidel Castro. And so my presumption is the guy with the shirt is either pro-Cuba or he's communist. And it's like, okay, so that's different than my beliefs. And I have another student who comes in and says, Succeed Texas, or Texas Succeed, on his t-shirt. And then another one at the gun range I go to, they'll have a shirt that says, "Make Texas a Republic again," which is the essence of what it is saying is that we're going to dissolve the republic and, break apart, which is totally against my views of the world, my views of America. But I realize people are going to have different beliefs, different views, and there's no drawing a line in the sand and saying, well, because you believe this way, we can't be friends and I can't work with you. As long as you're not out hurting people, as long as you're a good person, man, I want to work with you. I want to help you. And, so just know that there's going to be all different kinds of beliefs. And we can get along. We can respect one another. We can work together. And it doesn't have to be the negativity that we see, especially on social media or the news. So regardless of your race, religion, creed, national origin, your gender, your preferences, I want to work with you. And I want to help you develop yourself so you can defend yourself. And that's my goal. The only time I was ever bothered by a friend who, a longtime friend of mine, I've done martial arts with for years. When I met him, he was married and he had a daughter. And he came out as gay a couple years ago. And he sent me a message telling me that, and that he hoped it wouldn't affect our friendship. And the only thing that bothered me about that was that in our friendship, I had not displayed through our many years of friendship that I'm not that shallow. That regardless of who you love or what your sexual preference is, that doesn't affect my friendship or how I view you as a human or my concern for you and my love for you as a friend. So that's the only thing that bothered me about this coming out. Hey, if that's what makes you happy, dude, I'm 100% behind you. And it's not hurting nobody. So I realize that we're all going to have different views of the world and that we can all work together. And that's what I learned in my 33 years in the military. That's what I've learned running a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu school, that we're going to look at the world differently. We're going to have different beliefs, but we can still respect each other as fellow humans, and we can still, work together and help one another. And I think when you do things like that, it makes the world a better place. So that's my answer to this week's question of the week. Is my school LGBTQ plus friendly? Absolutely. And we're friendly to all different religions, all different political views. As long as you're not hurting nobody, man, I want to help you. So, got any comments? Feel free to share below. And got a question for next week? Feel free to write below. All right. Ciao.